Hello, welcome to a quick and simple user interface guide for Eve Echoes. It can be confusing, so I'm going to go ahead and teach you it. To open your user interface, click in the top left corner. This will show you all of these different buttons: personnel, assets, social, and other issues. We're going to start with personnel, the character button. What does character do? It basically opens up your profile. It will show you everything from what corporation you're in, your position in it, your tech level, skill points, wallet balance, and even if you're an Omega or not, or if you have both the Omega Basic and Standard. There's a combat log, which is basically PvP log. It will show when you die or kill other players. And there is medals that you can put on yourself, which are basically achievements so other people can see what you've done in the game. Okay, so keeping that in mind, that's what the personal button does. Pretty simple. Skills are for your person. There is two ways to look at this. This is the way it's going to come standard. When you click on it here, it's going to say, hey, pick a skill career path. You can be like, I want to do military, confirm. It's going to go ahead and load some preferences for you. Say, I think you should really work on these, okay? That way you can get handheld through it. However, if you don't like that, I suggest doing the advanced way by clicking up here and switching the modes. Now you can see ships and clones. You can see the different breakdown. You can go through and be like, I want the cruiser ones. I want the maintenance, and each one has their own breakdown. Okay, this is the manual way to do it. I'm going to explain more of skills later on a different video. So if you want to see that information, you're probably going to need to be notified for when that comes out. You can hit the bell and subscribe. Now we're going to move on to fitting. Fitting is for your ship. This is essentially... a good way to put this is if you've ever played World of Warcraft or RuneScape or any MMO, this is basically putting on your sword, your shield, your armor. You can equip better and better pieces of gear, and keep in mind only some ships can hold some pieces of gear. So what am I talking about? This is the fitting screen. The fitting screen is where you fit your items onto a ship. AKA it's your loadout, AKA it's your weapons you equip, your afterburner, everything. Again, I'm not going to get into fittings in detail. That will be a different video. This is strictly for the user interface. Up here is your high slots. These are where your weapons are going to go. These are your medium slots here. Things like drones fit in here. Things like your stabilizers, etc. Then in here, in the low slots, these things are reinforced armor, like afterburners. There is more of kind of the support type of stuff for your ship there in terms of like maintenance, or acceleration. Think of it that way, okay? So there you go. There's the basic rundown here. This button here opens up your skin, so you can change the different skin. There are pay-to-win skins in this game. I'm memeing there is no paying to win in terms of skins, but the skins do nothing but look cool. I kind of like that white one. Looks pretty good there. You can also see the trait descriptions. So if you want to go in here to the ship details, when you click appearance, you can also kind of go in and see your details there as well. And this is from the ship tree, which we'll talk more about in a second. Okay, so those are the first three under the personal tabs. Now, assets. This is the wallet. It's very simple. It's going to show you your transactions, how much money you have, how much PLEX you have, etc. You can see here that I've made purchases. I've had bounties. Everything is going to show here. Market tax. Any exchange of currency is going to be shown in this log, as well as let you know ISK and PLEX. Now, there's something weird here in the wallet that they don't explain at all. When you click on ISK, it just says what it is, but when you click on PLEX, it's going to open up the PLEX purchasing screen, which is where you can either swap your AUR, which is, we'll talk about that in a second when we get to store screen, for PLEX, or you can even sell your PLEX. This is a pretty important spot to be aware of. That way you can go in and use PLEX to purchase the clone if you want. You see dual bundle, 500 PLEX. The basic is 170, standard is 430. So for 500 in-game PLEX, you can effectively expect $15 worth of value because that's what this costs. All right. And now the prices are currently crashed on PLEX, so if you're trying to make some money in the game, you have a whole bunch of money in the game, it's not a good time to buy PLEX and sell it. I only did that for the corporation. It's a much better idea to start buying up as much PLEX as you can while everyone's flooding the market, and PLEX will go up in price eventually if you would like to be a millionaire at some point. Now, or billionaire, I suppose, as a million's not a whole lot in this game. Okay, moving on from the wallet to the market. This is where the buying and selling actually happens. Keep in mind, in the market itself is not where you go to do a order to sell. It's kind of weird. When you click on the market, this is where you go to purchase things. This is where you go to look at what's at the market. Think of this like this is you're walking into an open trade, area, and you're like, oh, let me look at this store. Let me look at this store. This is not where you're like, let me look at my items and sell them. Okay, you don't have a booth. If you actually want to sell your items under assets, you're going to instead go to your inventory right here. You're going to click on the item you wish to sell. For instance, this civilian acolyte, you're going to click sell, and then you're going to sell with your price, how many you want with the calculator, and you're going to type in your ISK here. Okay. ISK being the price of it per one, not total. Keep that in mind. Now, going on, you have your ship hanger, which is where these are where your ships are. I mean, pretty self-explanatory here. I would probably, in my mind, not sell these. The ones you get from the tutorial, I would probably keep these for now. You're going to need them. And then these are the dock ships, which are the ones that are not just in the hangar. They're actually, you've used them, come back and dock them. Okay, that's what the dock difference is there. Now, let's move along here. So deliveries, what exactly is deliveries? Now, deliveries are pretty cool. I'm not going to go too much into detail here, but essentially this is where... you can do some hauling, okay? So you're like, I want something in my inventory. I want this, for instance. You know, I need this to be delivered, okay? So let's request delivery. I need it to go from here to somebody else. I'll initiate the request. The total fee would, cost me this much. Let's say I wanted to go from here to here, okay? It would cost me this amount. You initiate the request. You can get some shipping happening, okay, for you. Or you can do vice versa and actually do the shipping. If you want to be like a trucker in this game, that's something that can happen too. Complete deliveries for ISK. I can request a shipping container, which is somebody else that's wanting to do it. Say, I tell you what, I'll do this one for you, and they'll tell me exactly how much they're willing to pay. But again, we're not going to go too much into detail. You understand what that is now. This is just for the user interface. Contracts are quite important. This is one of the only ways that you can actually straight up receive freebies. You see this guy here? This is how you give people money. It's also how you exchange things. This is a private contract. This guy here is offering me 100,000 ISK. He's not asking for anything. But the brokerage fees, I'll pay 10,000 as a deposit, and then he'll give me 100,000. You see, he's like, I'm asking for 10,000, but here's 100,000. This is how you do an independent trade offer with somebody, or a contract saying, hey, I'll pay you X amount if you take this, this, and this, and do this, and this, and this with it, okay? These are essentially contracts of buying, selling, anything like that. I'll receive 100,000 ISK, and I am selling this item here. He's when accepting my contract, right? Then that you would click accept here. You see how I'm trying to sell this to anybody that wants it for 100,000 as an example one. That's one I made, okay? So you can create a contract with the bottom left button right here, and you can click item exchange and go here to private or public. You can let people know who you want it to go to. Let's say you want a private, you can type in their name, or otherwise public, you can just go here, click next. You're going to click on the items you want, where they're from. Say your personal assets. Let's say I want to sell my executioner here. We'll go to the next one, options. I want it to be for 2 weeks. Enter my description of the product, how much money I want for it. Got it. Pretty much that self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and get out of this contract here because we don't want to do one. Now, okay, the shop's pretty important to talk about. There's basically two types of Omega. There's the basic and standard. Again, I'm not going to go fully into detail on these, but basically the basic gives you some bonuses. The standard gives you more bonuses. And the chips here will give you bonus training time. The most important thing of all of these, and all you really have to understand when it comes to these pack offers, is that the basic Omega is going to allow you to trade and kind of like play the game as a normal player. Whereas it's kind of like your minimum fee, whereas the standard is going to also give you like bonuses in terms of training time. Whereas if you get both of them, you're going to get extra bonuses. Okay, you're going to get the bonuses from the original Omega plus the standard, and they stack. Okay, and the standard Omega does get bonus and training time. So what happens is you stack these, you get training quicker than the people who do not have these. Okay, now you can only have. If you see here, there's a gift pack, and you see I've purchased this one. It's 30 days, but I've also purchased this one here. Now, what happened was I didn't realize that the gift pack isn't a gift pack. I thought I could give it to someone. I was trying to give it to someone on my stream. Instead, what happened was I bought it, and it just activates automatically. So what happens when it activates, if you go character and you look here, let me move myself back down here for the moment. Whoop. If you look here, you can see here that I have 59 days. Because what happened was I did the $15 purchase for the bundle, and it did 30 days, right? So I'm going to show you once again so you know what I'm talking about. I did this here. I did this one, $15, gave me 30 days, okay? Then I went up here and I bought this one because I thought it was a gift pack, so I could give it out. But really what the gift pack is, it's the same package, but it gives you bonus Plex on top of it. You can buy each one of these once. You see how this one's 3 months, but 255, all the way up to this one's a year of membership for both, but you get 1,200 bonus Plex. Well, what is Plex? Okay, Plex is essentially your pay-to-win premium currency. You can sell this for in-game money. People can use it to become a mega clone. If you actually look here, remember how I was talking about earlier on the wallet, if you actually look here and you click on Plex, you purchase a mega clone. When you have the clone POW, you can do it just like that too. So this means you can play this game as an alpha, which is free to play, save up enough money or have someone give you Plex, or earn enough Plex, and then purchase the pay to play version for free, technically. So you can still do that, okay? All right, the next important part is actually the star charts, which is under social we need to talk about. This is where you can kind of see where everything is. You can click on something, go to the region map, see all the different places in here, and each one of these dots means you have to take a warp gate there, okay? So remember how you portal through these gates and it says so many jumps. Each one of these is a jump, which is why if I wanted to navigate there, right, you go Stargates, be like, I want to go here, okay? Let's look at the region map. I want to go exactly here. Set this destination, 29 jumps. Okay, and I can start and then with autopilot there. Now, keep in mind when you're looking at the star chart here that places that are red or have lower security are going to be dangerous. High security is 07 to 1.0, I believe, and low security, or excuse me, 06, 0.6 that is, all the way to 1.0, whereas low security is 0.5. To, I think it's like 2.0, I forget which. And then there's no security, which at 1 point, I think is just flat out 0, basically what you're seeing here. So that's exactly what that does. And then the difference is in high security, other players can't attack you. But in the other securities, they can. Okay, in low security, there's penalties for doing it, and no security, there's like nothing. You can just do it, not, whatever. This is the Wild West. Okay, so if you're trying to meet up with your friends, what you can do is click the search button. You can type in what it is you want, like Jita, right? Be like JITA, and then you can click on it, and you can go straight there. So it's like I want Jita. Okay, so I want to go there, which is one of the main trade hubs. Okay, click search, you click on your item, and then click set destination. It would pop right up here, right? It's like, okay, I want to go there. 0 jumps because I'm already there. Okay, but you can click start and it will automatically go. So that's the star chart. Quite important. Now, the other one that's quite important here is encounters. Now, if you look at the encounters, normally it's going to look like this. You go up to the news here, and this is going to show you all the different basically quests, if the way they think of their missions is what they call them in this game, but they're basically quests, and you can filter it. Like I have filtered by combat and high sec, but if I wanted to do it in low sec and have it, being more rare or something, I could filter it by those options too. And then there you go, there it changes those options. You can also refresh it if you don't like the options that are available, and it will generate new options for you. You're going to notice there's some higher priced ones. These are mining ones. If you have 45,000 nits, those are the mining ones, whereas 2,500, 9,000, these are the encounters. But again, you can filter through that as well. Now, you're going to need to do the encounters because as you go through the advanced tutorial, which I would recommend you're going to want to do the advanced tutorial all the way because there's insane rewards. As you go through, it's going to require you to do some encounters, okay? So you can go ahead and get that done. Keep in mind, these are not retroactive. You will have to do this again. However, the upgrade tech level and upgrade the skill, those are already, those can be, okay? Whereas these ones here, no, sir. Okay, the tech level, once you're tech level 5, that's retroactive. You have to train skill, and then you're going to have to do one of these optional missions as well. Okay, so moving along there from the encounters, corporation's quite important. Now, I own my corporation, which is the Well Pod. You can try to apply if you want. However, we are currently full. And what we're going to be doing is in the corporations, it's quite important to join one because when you apply and join a corporation for the first time, you get 500,000 skill points. And that is insane. That's like 5 times the total amount of skill points I've earned already by myself. You get an absolute ton of them. I'm going to show you. If you look here, actually, I can do it this way. If you look here under character, you see my total skill points are 595,000. 500,000 of those are just from creating my corporation. You don't have to create one. You can just join one, okay? But if you want to create a corporation, it costs hundreds of million, or you can pay 3 million if you're in Omega to create one, and then you can pay 220 million later on the mortgage, okay? I'm currently on the mortgage for it myself for the crew. Now, keep in mind also when you join a corporation, a lot of them do tax. So be careful which one you join. Mine's 10%, for instance, because it's quite high because we're trying to pay off our debt. However, don't join like a scam one where it's like a 40% tax or something, okay? Be careful. Now, that being said, there's also the fleet button. Fleet is essentially a party from other MMOs. This is very self-explanatory. Create fleet, invite who you want. You can find players from the local or find people that want to do certain things. No problem right there, okay? Don't have to spend much time on that one. Mail is also self-explanatory. Notifications and basic mail. Nothing too exciting here. You can click edit in order to mark all if you just want to start deleting them or something like that. Select all, delete, or select all and mark read. Keep in mind when you select all and mark read, it's only going to mark red for the ones that were on the screen. For some reason, you have to scroll down and click mark read again. For that reason, I like to click select all and delete as it clears through them significantly faster. Okay, moving along here. Now, contacts, these are your friends list. It's basically, you can mark people as friendly, hostile, or a blacklist. The different markings will show up when you see them in space. So when they show up on your scanner, you can be like, oh, this is a friendly. They'll have tags next to them, basically. They do a really good job of keeping everything thematic in this game and trying to really keep it to the space like. They don't try and knock you out of the fourth wall very often, okay? So that being said, let's move on there. We've covered social. Now the other issues. These are industry, planetary production, ship tree, and settings. Settings is the most basic one. This is where you're going to go do your basic settings, okay? You can turn off notifications. I have those off, but you can turn them on if you want. These will do push notifications, self-explanatory, okay? Battle settings here. I have all my auto shit on. It's a little bit hard in this game to click everything manually. I do like having it sort by optimal range on my orbit. When you start automatically orbiting somebody, if you have it on default orbit range, it's just going to go on whatever the default you have it set as, whereas the optimal range will automatically try the orbit for your weapons. This is great when you're changing ships a lot, okay? Graphics, if you're having a problem with the graphics, mess around with your graphics settings, okay, till you get it quite right. There has been some issues I've seen with the shadows, and I believe some post-processing issues as well. You might want to adjust that there. This just resets everything. Don't worry about that, okay? Now, with that being said, we are going to move on here to the ship tree. This is one of the coolest things in the entire game. This is where you're going to be able to see all the different things you can unlock eventually. So there's Amar, Caldari, Mimotar, Galante, etc., right? It's got all this stuff. So for instance, let's click on ore. This is the mining one. And then what happens is you can see your capsuleer. This is your basic ship. And then these are like the very beginning ships, Venture and the Venture Trainer, right? You get the Venture Trainer if you follow the advanced tutorial. You get one for free. And then you look here, and these are all the other different variants you can have within the mining. You can go all the way up here to an industrial cover there, right? And you can do the same thing with other types of ships. You can see your main empire, like I'm Amar, right? I can go to Amar. I can see my battleships. I can see my destroyers, the battle cruisers. You can see all the different types. The one I really want is this one, the Apocalypse Striker. So we're working towards that eventually, but I'm more of an industry guy myself. You can also kind of see the other ones. These are the other factions have some really good ships as well that are not just within the factions that you start in. For instance, there's a pirate. The pirate has this ship called the Gila. It's one of the best ships in the entire game. I would highly recommend it, okay? Or at least it was in EVE Online. Not sure if it's going to transfer the EVE Echoes. I'm going to have to kind of look at the numbers, but as you can see here, the medium drone damage, and then they had missiles bonus as well. Looks like they're kind of keeping the same type of build. So this is one of the best ships. It will be fairly expensive, and this is another ridiculously expensive ship, the Rattlesnake, as well. So you can kind of go through and have fun looking through those, figuring out what you really like. There's tons of factions, and you can figure out what you really want to fly in, or at least train towards. Now, there's the industry. The industry is actually really complicated. I probably need to do a video independently on this one, but basically you can manufacture weapons, ships, and you need skills for this, and you need to unlock the technology. This is going to be under a full video itself, so I'd probably recommend subscribing and hitting the bell so you can see that one. This is fairly complicated, but for today, what I'm just going to say here is there's reverse engineering, which allows you to take something and turn it into a blueprint. Then there's vice versa, which is blueprint. You make it into something. Okay, pretty cool. It does take skills. It can be kind of expensive, but it's 100% necessary within your corporation to have people that are doing these. Okay, I'm going to be focusing a lot on this myself. So that leaves us with, last but certainly not least, planetary production. This is kind of your like your dispatch in Gacha games where you send out characters to go get you some rewards and they come back after a bit and you get some stuff. You see here mining yields, you see continuous mining going. I can launch this here. Go ahead and give me my items. There we go. It's launched in the space hold. And this is just a mine. You can click on something here. I want to place a development and Roy mine's maxed out, right? And you can go ahead and just have it automatically mine. You can click the button to have it reset the time to 24 hours if you want to. And it's pretty simple. You get some additional resources and you turn those resources into the manufacturing part, okay? So that's going to cover the basic user interface of all of these ones here. There is more user interface things to talk about, such as let me move myself over here for this one, actually, so you guys can see this. I'm going to move this over here. Over here, there's the set base. This one will automatically set where you're at currently as your home base, okay? There's your supplies. Ow! Ooh, cat got me. Sorry, cat got me right in the leg there. A little kitten keeps trying to climb me. So the login rewards you can claim, but they're going to go to whatever station you're at. So don't claim these in the wrong spot. Make sure when you're clicking claim on these, you're actually where you want them. Okay, keep that in mind. And you can get your Omega rewards here. And you can see that some of them end up being quite good towards the end. And you can also see here we're getting skill points as in the Mega as well for login rewards. This is another reason Omegas are quite important, because if you don't get the bonus skill points in PvP, you will be behind if you're trying to min-max or be, the the insane guy, okay? There's the repairs here, which are very self-explanatory, just repairs your ship. The museum, I actually don't understand yet. I'm not quite sure what this is. I think this is like artifacts you find or something that will give you bonuses, or it's your museum that's just kind of an achievement thing. I haven't looked into this, and I'm not quite sure. It says it's 16 jumps away. Not really sure what this is, if I'm being honest with you, okay? Then you can bring your office, which is for your corporation. You see it's 1.5 million per week, quite expensive, and we are at negative 219 million because it's going to take a bit for us to pay off our debt. There you go. So hopefully that answered some of the basics of the user interface, okay? I'm going to do a little bit more videos. This one's already kind of long. The other ones will teach you how to navigate around combat, things of that nature. I can't fit it all into one video, or this is going to be a 1-hour video and no one will watch it. So if you want to see more specific videos, please do subscribe and hit the bell. That way you can see them. Leave a comment on what you need to know, so that way I know what you guys want to see for the next video. And I love you all. I'm going to go pump out another Eve Echoes tutorial.